Welcome back, Savages. Tonight we're asking the question, does the Vatican Secret Archives hold paranormal secrets? Find out. Hi, guys.
Hi.
So, as you can see, we've been kind of MIA for a couple weeks. Life's been lifing. We've been dealing with some family things and the god-awful stomach bug that's been going around. We also have some news, and Savage Energi is going to be moving locations. We will have a brick and mortar building and a whole new setup coming soon.
We'll have a really cool area that we'll be doing our podcast in.
I'm telling you, the first thing that touches me, I'm going to be like, no.
Oh, but we could have fun.
So life's been lifing lately, but we are back, ready to get at it. We've got a whole bunch of new topics that we've been exploring, and I'm excited about our new business endeavors and moving forward and making new friends or enemies, whichever one works. We all know that.
It's all good.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, tonight's topic is
the evil laugh.
Because I love taking religion and just shredding it into pieces. But tonight we're talking about the Vatican Secret Archives. We know that this has been a myth and legend. We do know they're real, but as far as what actually goes on there, nobody really knows except for the people that are inside the building. And I don't want to become a priest, which I don't think women are allowed to, which is stupid, by the way, to explore that room. But just getting my hands on those books would be fascinating.
They do allow some people in there, but they have very strict regulations. You have to be over 79 years old. I don't understand why, unless because that means you're closer to dying, so you really can't tell anybody. But you have to go through this whole process and fill out a ton of paperwork for them to approve it. They had just opened it up right before COVID hit, and then they closed everything down again.
Because Jesus told them to.
I don't know if it's been officially opened back up for you to apply to be allowed to go in there or not, but from what I was reading, it's just crazy, all the paperwork you have to go through just to go in there.
It's stupid.
But I would love to go in there and see what's in these books, because there's all kinds of theories of what is in these books.
Yes, which is exciting. As a disclosure, we all know how I feel about religion. I don't care if you don't like what I have to say. It's my opinion. This is what we're talking about tonight. My whole thing about the paranormal and the Vatican and what lies in those books is, how are you going to do the things that you do, which we all know they perform exorcisms. We all know it.
There's a process you have to go through to be approved for an exorcism.
Right.
So it is documented that they do them.
And how are you going to say, oh, but the paranormal doesn't exist when they do exorcisms? You want to talk about how, oh, the paranormal is forbidden and there's no such thing, yada, yada, yada. But look at what they go through during exorcisms.
Well, there's a priest, Father Gabriel Amorth.
There's
I'm sure
a
that's
movie
probably
on him.
not how. Yeah, I know. I love that movie.
Russell Crowe.
I know. It was a good movie. He was the chief exorcist of the Vatican, and he served for 60-ish years. They're saying he performed roughly 160,000 exorcisms.
But he was still scolded. According to the movie and the facts that they use, he was still scolded by the Vatican for doing his job. Because they didn't like how he did it, but it was effective.
Yes.
Because he believed in science.
Yes.
He believed that not only could this be spiritual, but it could also be paranormal and psychological, mental illness, all of that stuff. And persecuted him for that.
He did lean a lot towards the mental illness aspect until proven otherwise.
And he got a lot of backlash for that. In the paranormal community, we all know, especially our group, the first question we ask at every investigation is, are you taking any meds? Is there a family history of mental illness of any kind? Has anybody ever been in an institution or something along those lines? Those are the first 3 questions we always ask, whether people want to tell us the truth. We encourage the truth.
We go into the whole HIPAA laws where legally they don't have to tell you. But in order for this to work properly, those are basic things you need to know. Don't need diagnoses, just need to know yes or no. It is also said that the Vatican welcomed 250 priests from across the world to an annual exorcism workshop.
So tell me again that the paranormal doesn't exist? If you need to bring in that many people because the angels and the demons are fighting, does that not make it paranormal? I get the whole religious aspect of Jesus and Satan, but
I think
it's annoying.
Now, this is just my guess. I think what they mean by the paranormal doesn't exist is it seems like they only believe in angels and demons. They don't really believe that the everyday Joe comes back as a ghost.
But still, they're fighting over people's souls.
Yes.
And what is a soul? There you go. Ding, ding, ding. You're fighting for something that you believe once it's taken, a demon takes over, because angels don't possess people. Don't even. Don't. I know exactly where you're going with that.
Okay.
So, they go in the whole spiel of, but it's only demons that possess people.
Mm-hmm.
Da. So how does that not make it paranormal when we know that demons leave traces behind, which is what we investigate?
Mm-hmm.
It's a circle. And then it just, I'm going to try not to rant today. But again, the whole, especially being Catholic. I hate that. Being Catholic teaches you that basically following the Bible to a T is the only way that you're going to get into heaven. Yes. And by telling some old man in a collar all of your sins, which that's not going to happen.
The one in the collar has a lot more to confess.
Thank you. No, can't talk about that. Talking to somebody in a booth for a half hour to an hour, confessing everything that you've done, is the only way to get into heaven, is annoying. Because...
But then you have to do penance for your sins. You have to say 5 Hail Marys, 4 Our Fathers, and 12 whatever the other one is.
The fact that I can recite most of those word for word is annoying. I was a bad child. But then you have the people behind the curtain who, do they still have to do everything that they're telling you that you need to do in order to get into heaven? Or no, you're automatically going to go to hell. But that all comes back to, okay, so if heaven and hell are real places, which we all know my thoughts on that, a spirit can go either direction or they can stay put. How does that not make it paranormal? Like, that's the whole thing, is how can you say that it's not paranormal?
So, this one's not paranormal, but supposedly there's documents in there that the Vatican helped Nazi war criminals escape.
Yeah, because if you weren't Catholic, that's the only one that mattered.
The financial advisor to the Vatican is believed to have been one of the Nazi spies. He instituted a horrifying scheme that allowed the Vatican to invest money in Italian insurance companies. And then they kept the assets of the murdered people. Since they were an investor and not a direct insured person they didn't have to return any of the money.
Of course not, because that's what churches do.
They paid a substantial amount of money to something called the IOR, which is the Institute for Works of Religion. Don't really know what to say about that, but apparently it's kind of like money laundering, and you can't trace where the money is, where it went, how it got there.
There have been numerous documentaries about people asking questions about the Vatican, and then all of a sudden, all of their research and all these people that were involved just disappear. I'm telling you, the Vatican is just like one big mob or organization. I'm surprised there's not priests standing out with AR-15s.
They're claiming that they are not related to the Illuminati. But the more you go into it, they kind of are.
I believe a lot of the symbols that they find around the Vatican are Illuminati.
There was also a book named His Holiness, released in 2012, based on leaked papers by Pope Benedict. Supposedly his own butler leaked them. One thing that was in there is that individuals were blackmailing gay bishops because they broke their celibacy vows.
I mean, I know a lot of other priests that have broke their celibatary vows too. And,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they just get moved to other places so it can continue. Nobody talks about that, do they?
Yeah, I don't know. There's also...
Can you say that?
Apostolic
Penitentiary.
Thank you. It was a secret tribunal that investigated heinous crimes of individuals. It was supposedly found in 1179 and was kept secret until 2009. Only the Pope can grant absolution to people that are brought there. Examples of the sins that they committed could be attempting to assassinate the Pope, a priest exposing the sin or identity of somebody in confession. The Pope is the head of this council and is called the Major Penitentiary and can either grant absolution or let them be excommunicated.
I liked it better when people were beheaded for that. I'm sure by now I would have been beheaded multiple times.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to not talk back.
There's reports that there's communication between Emperor Nero and St. Paul. They're saying that the Vatican is hiding proof that Jesus did not exist.
We all know what it says in the Bible about how Jesus came to be.
Yes.
And we all know how babies are made.
We all know science. We know that doesn't work.
Apparently in the archives there is evidence of extraterrestrial life. Rumors suggest that the Vatican holds proof of the existence of extraterrestrial life. Which, this kind of makes sense to a point. Because back in the olden times, it's always just going to be referred to that by now. So back in the olden times...
Anything before 1980.
Shut up. I call you old. So, we all know that back in the olden times, there are documents that were carved into stones, written on animal skins of beings that are not from Earth. Just like the Men in Black, I feel like the Vatican and the FBI, CIA, that whole area.
Illuminati.
Yeah. They hold the most power over people. And if they tell you, oh, none of this was real, people are going to believe it.
Yes.
I will wholeheartedly believe in aliens till the day that I die. We don't talk about that because she doesn't like them.
No, but we are going to, because that's another topic for a podcast that I have. The whole, are they angels and demons or are they ETs?
I'm okay with either one.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
6'2" with a nose ring.
I'll take a demon. I don't want an ET. Thanks. Unless it is really like ET. He was cool. I will share Reese PCs with him.
So again, we have a new setup, so we're seeing everything on a TV behind us. We all know what priests are capable of. It has been in the news, even though they have tried to squander it. We all know. Apparently, the Vatican is home to the largest collection of dirty pictures. I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah.
Because look at what has happened. Look at what priests have been capable of for hundreds of years. And all they do is just move along. Here comes the next one. Well, why not give them something to look at?
And people still push their kids in. There is another thing that they say is in there, and it's documents for something called the 3 Secrets of Fatima.
They look creepy.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool, because I read through a whole bunch of different articles about this. Mm-hmm. This supposedly happened on May 13th of 1917. 3 young shepherds witnessed what they called a supernatural apparition of the Virgin Mary. Again, paranormal.
Right.
And they were entrusted with these 3 secrets. So the first one was a vision of hell. And they went into great detail of the flowing rivers of fire and the people, the souls were being spewed up out of the fire, and the torture and the screaming, the torture, blah, 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 blah. The second one was the end of a great war and the beginning of another.
Oh, Trump's in office now.
No. A little scary, I'm just going to say.
World War III.
The one with the war, it says, the war is going to end, but if people do not cease offending God, a worse one will break out during the pontificate of Pius... That's 11, I think.
I think so.
When you see a night illuminated by an unknown light, know that this is the great sign given to you by God, that he is about to punish the world for its crimes by means of war, famine, and persecutions of the Church and of the Holy Father. To prevent this, I shall come to ask for the consecration of Russia to my Immaculate Heart and the communion of reparation on the first Saturdays. That's a little scary with everything going on in the world today.
Yeah, right?
If my requests are heeded, Russia will be converted and there will be peace. If not, she will spread her errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecutions of the Church. The good will be martyred. The Holy Father will have much to suffer. Various nations will be annihilated. In the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. The Holy Father will consecrate Russia to me, and she shall be converted, and a period of peace will be granted to the world. With all the weird things going on in the sky lately, with all the moons and the supermoons and the eclipses, it's a little creepy. The third secret contains much of the same apocalyptic imagery, including a vision of a pope who was shot. Pope John Paul II...
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Well, he thought this was his own assassination attempt.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's dead.
The bishop clothed in white who prays for all faithful is the Pope. Mm-hmm. He makes his way with great difficulty towards the cross amid the corpses of those who were martyred, bishops, priests, men and women, religious, and many lay people. He too falls to the ground, apparently dead, under a hail of gunfire. After the assassination attempt, May 13th, 1981, same day, May 13th, wasn't that this day? Yeah. So it appeared evident that it was a mother's hand that guided the bullet's path, enabling the Pope to halt at the threshold of death.
Oh, I just got I got goosebumps.
Yeah. Another large part of this third vision is penance, calling the world to come back to God. After the two parts, which I have already explained, at the left of Our Lady and a little above, we saw an angel. So they're looking at the vision.
Okay.
They saw an angel with a flaming sword in his left hand, gave out flames that looked as though they would set the world on fire. But they died out in contact with the splendor that Our Lady radiated towards him from her right hand, pointing to the earth with his right hand. The angel cried out in a loud voice, "Penance, penance, penance." Like they're comparing that one and some of the other ones I was reading. They're comparing that one to a nuclear type thing. I mean, if they had all these capabilities with these supernatural beings,
Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't have something like this locked away, because general people like us read that, we're like, oh,
And
crap.
then we panic. And that's how wars start. Or
Yeah.
it's because some little boy didn't get hugged enough as a child.
Yeah. So one of the other things is that there's supposedly documents in there that they are controlled by the Illuminati, even though it doesn't exist. Some of the most powerful people in the world are in control of the Illuminati. Who are some of the most powerful people in the world? The popes.
I want somebody to prove to me that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, that can't be done, because even if you watch, like, oh my God, I was watching your Jeffree Star guy that you said you loved watching his TikToks and stuff. He did an interview and people were questioning him.
The makeup artist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because he hangs around with all the big, powerful people.
He doesn't like most of them.
Yes. So they were throwing out Illuminati questions. And he's like, I don't want to be dead. I'm not going to answer that.
Well, yeah, because look at the people that have talked about the Illuminati.
And then poof.
Or have gone against what the Illuminati wanted, and then all of a sudden they're just gone. Take Aaliyah, for instance. Aaliyah, the musician, everybody knows that she had some kind of vision that she was going to die because she was going against people that she didn't feel right about. Yeah. She wanted to get away from everything, and she wanted to get back to nature and get her mind right, and then all of a sudden she dies in a plane crash that had no issues when they arrived. And there are a lot of artists.
Well, it's kind of like the whole Epstein thing. I'm sure
he
they
was a
were part of, well, yeah, but I'm sure they were maybe not in this, but they were connected to it for sure. And then you have Chris Cornell, you have Chester, and the list goes on, but those are just the two most recent talked about ones. And
all connected. Just means I get to meet my demons quicker. Prove to me that it doesn't exist. You have all these speculations and you have all of this. How did that start? There has to be some kind of truth for it in order for it to start. Because behind every rumor and every lie, there is always some kind of truth. We know this. Just like when people are like, oh, ghosts don't exist. I have physically seen them. I have felt them. I have felt their pain, their sadness, their everything. I feel that every time we investigate something. So telling me that they aren't real because you don't see them doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Right. But it's hard to explain to somebody who has never experienced that what it's like to see them, to be able to get them to understand.
It's like doing a double take and you're like, what the hell? Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Because then you're like, no.
Yeah, because then you're usually, did you see that? And I'm like, yep. We're going that way. It's usually how it goes. I like this one. It's home to a time machine, believed to have been built by an Italian scientist and priest, Father Pellegrino Maria and Ernetti.
The Chronovisor.
The Chronovisor is a device that apparently allows people to view the future and the past.
So it's not really a time machine.
No.
It's like a virtual time machine.
Right, but that would be cool. Because maybe people would learn from their mistakes, but that's never going to happen.
No.
People keep making the same mistakes over and over and over, which is why people hate America.
If they really want people to get on the religion bandwagon, why can't you use that and go back and show us?
It's amazing how many people are pulling away from religion.
People are going more towards just spirituality than
religion itself. Yeah. And then you and I, we just told a whole other we just veered off the path in general.
That's kind of how we do everything, though.
Right. I mean, and like, again, I'm talking about religion and spirituality and whatnot. How are people going to be like, oh, I saw the ghost of Jesus, or I saw the ghost of the Virgin Mary?
They were on my toast.
That's annoying. I hate that so much. Just eat the toast. It's not worth $500 million because it looks like it's got a person on it. But anyway, you're going to tell me that, oh, I had a vision and I saw Jesus or the Virgin Mary or the three wise men and the donkey. I don't friggin' know. That all corresponds back together of being, paranormal.
You saw a ghost.
You saw a ghost. Ghosts do exist. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a vision or out of the corner of your eye or what, religion and ghosts and the paranormal, which they all go hand in hand. Whether you like it or not.
They do.
You're going to see dead people.
I see dead people. I give credit to the movie The Sixth Sense.
But, I mean, they have to come out and admit it at some point. We need a pope that's going to be like, yo, this is the real deal. If that ever happens, I will burn and walk to the steps of the Catholic Church and be like, I renounce everything that I have done and said if some pope came out and was like, yo, this is all true. But that's never going to happen.
Because you have to be a certain way to be in that position. Bad choice of words.
Yep. We're just going to leave it at that. I don't know how much time we're at.
I don't know, but I think we've bashed them enough for one episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I could go sit on a rant about how much I hate religion. So much. But rant aside, we're getting closer to May. We have the Penhurst Asylum meet and greet. As I said, we're not going as vendors. We're just going as fangirls, ladies.
Fangirls.
Yeah. To meet Josh Gates, the guys from Ghost Hunters, Amy, all them.
Christina Weidman. Mm-hmm. I think Nick's going to be there.
They haven't changed the lineup, so I don't think they've added anybody. But we'll definitely get a lot of footage of that. I'm going to try to hopefully get some interviews. That might
try to go live on TikTok a few times.
We do have a meet and greet VIP pass, which means we get to have dinner with these people. I am so excited. We'll definitely get some content for that, but we've got that coming up in a couple weeks and whatnot.
Stay tuned. New location coming soon.
Yep, new location. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys. Welcome back, Savages.
You always do something stupid and then she loses it.
I hate you. Okay. Welcome back, Savages. Tonight we're asking the question, does the Vatican's archives hold? Nope. I told you it's too many words.
You were on a roll. No, it's good. That was really good. You started out really good.
Plan attacked me. Okay.
Wait till she turns back around. So
it's the Vatican Secret Archives. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I know how to do this.